Hello friends. So today we are going to see the subject of building construction material. So out of that building construction material we are going to see the basic things, that is basic thing about introduction to brick. So we are going to learn about brick today. So in the image itself you can see that the brickwork is going on. So then in image you can see the brick is laying on the mortar. So construction of wall is there and the bricks are constructing by using the mortar joint. Okay, so red color brick is there and the brick is joined by using the mortar. Vertical as well as horizontal joints are there. So this is the brick. We are going to see the brick today. Okay. So first of all, introduction to brick. So all of you know what is brick, but what actually we are going to see in this lecture is types of bricks we are going to see. Okay, so we are going to focus on single brick, type of single brick. In later we'll discuss in detail about the other types of bricks. So generally we are using the clay brick. So from last eras we are using that clay brick or mud brick. It is also called as a mud brick. So introduction to brick is a brick is a building material used to make walls, pavements, and other elements in masonry construction. Traditionally, the term brick referred to a unit composed of clay, but it is now used to denote rectangular units made of clay bearing soil, sand, and lime or concrete materials. Bricks can be joined together using mortar, adhesives, or by interlocking them. Bricks are produced in numerous classes, types, materials, and sizes, which vary with region and time period and are produced in bulk quantities. So what actually we can understand in this is, so when we are going to prepare or when we are going to produce a brick, it should be in numerous amount. Okay, because bricks are required in large huge amount for the construction of walls in the buildings. Okay, so according to materials also there clay bearing soil, sand or lime or concrete materials. Concrete bricks are also there. Clay bricks are also there. Hollow bricks are also there. According to shape, according to size, according to materials, we can classify the bricks. So traditionally the term brick referred to a unit composed of clay. So from last many of the years we are using the clay bricks. Nowadays the modification is there, like concrete bricks are there, lightweight bricks are there in the industry, civil industry. But traditionally we are using the clay brick. Uh, but it is now used to denote a rectangular unit made of clay. Okay, so that is what I have written here. So this is about the first point. So it may be the composition of the brick might be lime, maybe concrete. So in the first image itself we have seen it is joined together by using mortar, or it may be any other adhesive material, or by interlocking. Interlocking is done by using reinforcement. So in some cases there, if we are not using the mortar joint, in that case we are using the reinforcement for joining the bricks. And the bricks produced according to material size, which vary with region and time period, and it are produced in bulk quantity because the requirement of brick is also a huge amount. So that's why the production of brick is also in bulk quantities it is done. So bricks are obtained by molding plastic mass of suitable proportioned earth that mainly consist of silica and alumina in timber or steel molds. Okay, so bricks are obtained by molding plastic mass of suitable proportioned earth that mainly means what, the material that is which we are using for the construction of brick or for the preparation of brick, it is having a composition of silica and alumina in huge amount, and for the casting we are using the timber or steel molds to have a plastic mass for the brick. So clay bricks are maybe divided into ordinary bricks or fire bricks. Now uh, we are going to focus in this presentation is clay bricks. So clay bricks are mainly divided into two categories. One category is ordinary brick and second is fire brick. So what is ordinary brick and what is fire brick we'll discuss in the further presentation. According to Indian standard, the size of the brick is 19 centimeter by 9 centimeter by 9 centimeter. Okay, so every country is having their standards. So according to the Indian standards, the standard size of the brick is 19 centimeter in the length by 9 centimeter width by 9 centimeter height. So this is the standard size. Okay, so this is according to the Indian standard ISI standards. Okay, Indian Standard Institution. According to Indian Standard Institution, the size of brick is this. They have given 19 centimeter by 9 centimeter by 9 centimeter. So we are going to discuss about this also in later slides. Next slides. So one more point: cement mortar is placed below side of the brick and inside the frog. Okay. So in the first image we have seen the construction of wall. In that mortar we have seen the bricks we have seen, and in that the mortar is placed below this brick, sides of the brick, and inside the frog. So actually what is meant by frog? Frog is nothing but a depression provided at the top of the brick for the interlocking purpose. Okay, so this in the image next slide we will understand what is actually frog. So this is provided for the interlocking system. So if you are going to lay the mortar on the frog, so the depression will be filled by the mortar and the sliding of the brick, two bricks layers or two brick courses will be avoided. Okay, so this that's why frog is also important in the brick which is provided here, which is provided. So cement mortar generally we are using. There are n numbers of different types of mortar according to material you can classify, but basically or generally or commonly adopted mortar is cement mortar. Nowadays we are using. So that's why we are going to see about this only. So next is all the bricks are soaked in water for 24 hours before using them in construction work. Okay, so this is very important point because all the bricks are soaked in water for 24 hours, means one total 1 day total we have to soak that brick into the into water. Because what happens when you are going to construct a wall by using brick or mortars, brick and mortar, if the brick is not soaked, the absorption capacity of brick is more a huge absorption. What it bricks absorbs water in a huge amount. If the dry brick you are here using for the construction, what happens when you are going to lay the brick on the mortar, the brick will absorb the water from the mortar and the strength of that joint will be reduced. So that's why it is not good practice to use the dry bricks for the construction. So that's why it is said that you have to soak the brick for 24 hours before using for the construction. It means already the water will be present in the brick, so it will not absorb the water from the mortar separate. So that's why we have to use the soaked brick only or water brick only for the construction. So this is the introduction part we have seen. Now, uh, type of bricks. So what are the types of bricks? So generally, there are n number of types of bricks. So there will be different classifications. There are different classifications for the brick. We can classify the brick according to their sizes, according to their shapes, according to the materials, and n number n classifications we can do. Different classifications we can do. So now the basic classification of brick is done by this size. So the types of bricks here you can see is conventional brick and second type is standard brick. So in the first second slide you have seen that standard brick. So size of standard brick, that is 19 by 9 centimeter by 9 centimeter is the size of standard brick. So next is conventional brick. So conventional brick is having a size of 23 by 11.4 by 7.5 centimeters. All the dimensions are in centimeter. All the dimensions are in centimeters. So according to the size of bricks, basically the brick is classified into two categories. So one named as a conventional brick and second named as an standard brick. Okay, so first is conventional brick. So the dimension of conventional brick or traditional brick vary from 21 to 25 centimeter in length, 10 to 13 centimeter in width, and 7.5 to 10 centimeter in height in different parts of countries. Okay, so here first we'll see that the conventional brick can also be called as a traditional brick. Conventional brick can also be called as a traditional brick. Okay, so they have given few dimensions here. So here you can see, so the length is 21 to 25 centimeter. So here in the image you can see this is 23 centimeter. So it can vary from 21 centimeter to 25 centimeter. The length can be vary. Second, width they have given 10 to 13 centimeter in width. So here it is 11.4 centimeter. That is, width can vary from 100 mm to 130 mm, that is 10 centimeter to 13 centimeter. So it is in between. 11.4 centimeter is in between 10 to 13 is the width, and 7.5 to 10 centimeter in height. Height is 7.5 centimeter. So the height can be, or height may vary up to 10 centimeter. So minimum height they have given is equals to 3.5, sorry, 7.5 centimeter, 7.5 centimeter. So this is the size of conventional brick. The conventional brick size can vary into this, whatever they have given, 10, 11, 21 to 25 centimeter in length, 10 to 13 centimeter in width, and 7.5 to 10 centimeter in height, according to the country, parts of the country, different parts of the country. So suppose in Maharashtra we are using 23 centimeter by 11.4 centimeter by 7.5 centimeter brick. So if you'll go to in other states, suppose if we will go to move to Rajasthan, it may be 25 centimeter to 13 centimeter to 10 centimeter height. Okay, so size may vary according to the region, according to the region of the country. And one more thing, in this image you can see that frog is there. So in the previous slide already we have discussed it. So frog you can see at the central portion the frog is provided, and that is nothing but a depression provided on the top surface of the brick. So what is the depression they have provided? So it is the only provided for the interlocking purpose. It is only provided for the interlocking purpose. So when we are going to spread the mortar on this, so mortar will be filled, the frog will be filled by the mortar. Frog will be filled by the mortar. And after the harden, when the mortar will get hard, so interlocking system will be there. Interlocking system of the joint will be there. So the horizontal sliding will be avoided. Horizontal sliding will be avoided in between two courses. In between two courses. And one more thing, second point I have written here is commonly adopted size of conventional brick is 23 centimeter by 11.4 centimeter by 7.4 centimeter. Okay. So in this image they have given the dimensions 23 centimeter by 11.4 centimeter by 7.4 centimeter. So size having this brick which we are using commonly in the civil industry, commonly adopted size. So this is the commonly adopted size we are using in civil industry. So next is standard brick. So now already in the first slide we have discussed about the standard brick and size of the standard brick also, and in this image you will get understand what are the dimensions for the standard bricks. So in different parts of country, different sizes of bricks are used. Therefore, to have a uniform size throughout the country, Indian Standard Institution, that is ISI, has suggested a uniform brick size is known as standard brick, or it can also be called as modular brick. Okay. So in the previous slide already we have discussed this thing. So the size they have given here, the size of standard brick is 19 centimeter by 9 centimeter by 9 centimeter. That is, the length of the brick is 19 centimeter, width of the brick is 9 centimeter, and height of the brick is again 9 centimeter. So this is the size they have given, standard size according to ISI, Indian Standard Institution. Okay. So this is the standard. Why they have given the standard size? Because in the first statement you can understand in different parts of the country different sizes of bricks are used. That is conventional brick we are using in practice. So there is no any standard, but according to Indian standard the size of brick should be 19 centimeter by 9 centimeter by 9 centimeter. Okay. So this is the size of standard brick. Already we have seen in the previous slide for the conventional brick, size of conventional brick. But according to Indian standards, the size of frog is also given. So frog size is 8 centimeter by 4 centimeter by 2 centimeter. So 8 centimeter is the length of the frog, 4 centimeter is the width of the frog, and 2 centimeter is the depth of the frog. So this is the size of the frog. So length of the frog is 8 centimeter at the center, width of the frog is 4 centimeter, and the depth of the frog should be 2 centimeter. So this is according to the standards we have to provide for the brick. When we are going to prepare a brick, this should be the dimensions for according to Indian standards. This should be the dimensions according to the Indian standards. So this is about this size of brick. So in the size of bricks we have discussed of two types, that is conventional brick and standard brick. So these are the two types according to size are classified. Now, now we'll discuss about the composition of brick. So composition of brick. So what is actually the composition of brick? So every material is having some different composition. Every material is having some different composition. So here, brick earth is natural substance. So remember one thing is, so we are discussing about clay brick. That is, it is a natural substance. So we are producing the brick, clay brick by a natural substance. So brick earth. So that earth is the material required. So preparation of brick earth is a natural substance. The main ingredient or constituents of the good brick earth are. So number one. So in the first statement we have seen the higher composition is silica and alumina. Silica and alumina are present in the brick. So silica, the chemical formula for that is SiO2 is having a percentage of 55% present in the earth material. 55% present in the earth material. Similarly, alumina, it's not only 55, 50 to 55 you can say, or 50 to 60%. It may vary. It may vary from 50 to 60%, or it is 55%. So next is alumina. The chemical formula for alumina is Al2O3. That is 30%. So it is having a percentage of 30% in the earth material. Next is iron oxide. That is chemical formula is Fe2O3. So for that in the earth material 8% of iron oxide is present. 8% of iron oxide is present. Okay. Or even we can say it is the required percentage. It is the required percentage. Next is magnesia. That is MgO. That is 5%. 5%. So magnesia is having a composition of 5%. Ingredient composition of 5% in the earth material. Next is lime. That is CaO. That is having 1%. It is having a less percentage. Lime 1%. Okay. And now last is organic matter, that is having 1%. That is having 1%. So this is about the chemical composition, or you can see the composition of the brick. Composition of the brick. So these are the composition of the brick, and each ingredient is having an individual work in the earth material. Okay. So next we'll discuss those things. So now function. Each material is having individual function. Each material is having individual function. So first is alumina. So it is chief ingredient of every clay. So why? What is the function of alumina? That is first is it is a cheap ingredient of every clay. Means what? It is easily available in every clay. That is alumina. Now, what is the function of alumina? Alumina absorbs more water and imparts plasticity to the clay. Means what? What is alumina? What does alumina does in the brick is it absorbs more water. It absorbs more water and it imparts plasticity to the clay. Okay. So plasticity. What is the function of plasticity? Why plasticity is important? Because to get a proper definite shape, to get a proper defined shape and to proper moldable. It should be moldable. Okay. Therefore, brick can be easily moldable. Therefore, brick can be easily moldable. Without having plasticity property, the brick can't be easily moldable. It can't be easily moldable. Therefore, alumina is very important part of the earth material. Okay, or the material which we are using for the preparation of brick. Next point is written here. Note that excess alumina makes bricks liable to shrink and or wrap at the time of drying and burning. Okay, as alumina is required, we have seen in the previous slide that 55% alumina is required. So if it is excess, again it is hazardous for the brick. Why? Because if excess alumina is there, the bricks are liable to shrink or wrap at the time of drying and burning. So it should be in appropriate proportion. It should be in appropriate proportion. So second is silica. So it prevents cracking, shrinking, and warping of the raw bricks. Okay. So silica, what is the function of silica? It avoids the cracking of the brick. It avoids the shrinking of the brick. It avoids the warping of the brick. That is the function. That is the important function. So silica is also important. So silica is added to clay in appropriate quantities if not present sufficiently. Means what? When we are going to test the sample of the earth, if this proportion of silica is less, so in some cases externally we can add the silica to the clay in appropriate quantities. Okay, because it is very much essential, because it avoids the cracking of the brick, shrinking of the brick, and warping of the brick. Okay, so this is the function of silica. Next is lime. What is the function of lime? It acts as a flux such that it enables the sand to fuse or to melt during burning and binds the particle of bricks together. Okay. So flux means what? Flowing action, flowing action. So it acts as a flux such that it enables to the sand to fuse or to melt during burning. So burning is the process of the brick. At the time of burning, what the lime do is, so it will binds the particle of bricks together. Okay, so that is the function of lime. That is the function of lime. So it is very important. It is very important. Okay. So next function, it prevents raw bricks from shrinkage. Again, it avoids the shrinkage. It avoids the shrinkage. Next is lime. Okay, sorry. Next point is excess of lime causes the brick to melt and to lose its shape. Okay, so again remember that if lime is not present in the earth material in appropriate percentage, it will affect the shape also. It will affect the shape of the brick. So as generally we are using the rectangular brick, it can be affect the shape. It is affected to the shape of the brick. So lime, it should be present in appropriate proportion. So lime should be present in finely powdered state in brick, earth, and should not be lump form. Should not be lump form. Why it is required? Because if the lime is in powdered form, so the mixing of the lime in the earth material is appropriate. It can be done properly. Okay, if lumps are there in the earth material, lime lumps are there. So what happens if it is present in a in a specific space, so it can affect the shape. Again, it can affect the shape. Okay, so it may be more expansion of the brick. In some cases it expands the brick, in some cases it shrinks the brick, because it is not in a proper proportion. It is not in a proper proportion. So because of that, we should use in a powdered form only, finely powdered form. Okay, so this is the function of lime. So next ingredient of uh, earth material is magnesia. Okay, so it also acts as a flux during burning. Okay, so flux is nothing but flowing action. In Marathi it is called as an pravaha. Okay, so it is also acts as a flux during burning. Second point, a very small amount of magnesia gives a yellow tint to the brick and also decreases shrinkage. Okay, so what actually magnesia do is, Because of magnesia, the brick gets a yellowish shade on the surface, and due to magnesia, there is a decrease of shrinkage. So if the shrinkage action is there, so due to magnesia, it is avoided. It is avoided. Again, it is important. Again, it is important. So as you have seen the four, this is the fourth magnesia ingredient. So every material is used for shrinkage to avoid the shrinkage. Okay. So next is excess of magnesia cause bricks to decay. Okay, remember one thing is it should be in again appropriate proportion. If it is exceed to the proportion, it causes decay. It causes the decay of the brick. Okay. So next is iron oxide. Iron oxide. So it acts as a flux. Again, it acts as a flux such that a very small amount of iron oxide helps to fuse the lime and sand during burning. Okay, again it will act as a flux. So iron oxide is also working as a flux, that is flowing action. So next point is it also binds the particles of the bricks together so that bricks become hard and strong. Bricks become hard and strong. So to get the strength, iron oxide is very much important. Iron oxide is very much important because it gives the property to the brick to become hard and strong, and it will also binds the particles together. Because of binding the particles together, the strength we are getting the strength. It also imparts red color to bricks, but excess of iron oxide makes the bricks dark blue in color. So generally you have seen the color of brick is red. Color of brick is red. So the color of brick red we are getting because of iron oxide. And if it is exceed to the percentage, we have seen in the previous slide that is 1% of iron oxide is required. So if it exceeds 1%, the colors will be dark blue. Okay, so you have seen, I hope you have seen the bricks. If it is in dark blue, we can say that this is a overburned brick. That is a overburned brick. So that is because of excess iron oxide. That is because of excess of iron oxide. Okay, so this is the things we have discussed about the brick today. So in next lecture we'll discuss about the types. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much.